Well, this one was a long time coming. I said that I had to do this right after reviewing the top 10 worst Squidward torture porns because I wanted to put things in context. I'd suggest that you go watch that video to make things more clear here, because they did it. They fucking did it. They managed to make even Squidward unlikable. After everything I've seen, they did the unthinkable. I want you to remember that list, and each thing that this character went through. His home repeatedly broken into, his body repeatedly battered and bruised, his life's ambitions crushed and destroyed one by one. They managed to make that character unlikable. I wasn't aware that that was possible, but if SpongeBob is good at doing one thing, it's proving to me that there's no low you can't sink to if you put your mind to it. The episode starts at the Krusty Krab. Rule of thumb, if an episode from Season 5 onward starts at the Krusty Krab, it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck hard. Since it's a particularly quiet day, Squidward tries to relax, but as soon as he does, the previously empty restaurant gets filled up. SpongeBob appears to be missing. When Squidward enters the kitchen, he sees SpongeBob reading a book and laughing in a barrel. Wait. Something's not right here. No, not that the book is blue instead of yellow as the title would have you believe. Let's replay those events again. The episode starts with Squidward needing to make orders, and he discovers SpongeBob reading a book that will be the main source of this episode's plot. Did you get it yet? There's no filler. This is a shocking revelation. Almost every other SpongeBob episode that I've reviewed was loaded with filler. SpongeBob You're Fired was nothing but filler. I think I need a moment to let this sink in. SpongeBob gets to work making some Krabby Patties. And while he's doing that, Squidward finds the book. Yeah, a modern SpongeBob episode having a plot large enough to fill an entire episode blows my fucking mind. It's almost like they figured out the basics of writing! While SpongeBob is outside filling orders, Squidward decides that he has to read the book because SpongeBob doesn't want him to.
I must admit, my curiosity is piqued. I guess I'm piqued to peek at that book.
Well, they've still got to figure out the basics of clever dialogue. We can't have every miracle happen in one episode. Squidward gives SpongeBob a phony delivery so he could steal the book. This just so happens to be SpongeBob's diary. Now, one character discovering another character's diary has been done frequently in other shows, which may explain the lack of filler. And it's usually to teach that you shouldn't violate someone else's privacy. That's not what they go for here. I actually have no idea what they're going for here. Squidward takes a hairpin from Mr. Krabs and gets the diary open. So we see SpongeBob's side of what could very well be the beginning of a Squidward torture porn.
This morning, I was greeted by my nearest and dearest neighbor, Squidward. He had decided that today would be the perfect day to deliver his profound opinions on how to properly raise and care for a household pet. Specifically, what not to feed them.
Hey, do you have the entry on Choir Boys or Good Neighbors? Because in all honesty, this blindness to reality is frightening.
It warms my heart to know that Squidward thinks we're close enough to use the harshest words in his critique.
Sounds like how the writers on this show react to criticism.
Great Neptune, I had no idea. The depth of his delusion is awe-inspiring.
Yeah, it's inspiring enough to get the Silent Hill franchise back on track. SpongeBob delivers the bag to a dumpster. He believes that Squidward was the victim of a prank call.
Boy, a ketchup packet! That'll go great on this old diaper.
What? You put ketchup on hamburgers to make them taste better. You make something taste better before you eat it. Putting an old diaper in the dumpster means that it has most likely been used. This suggests that Patrick's going to... What the fuck is wrong with you? God damn it! I was making jokes poking at your plot holes in Smooth Jazz and Bikini Bottom, but you came right out and said that Patrick literally eats shit. With that out of the way, SpongeBob returns to the Krusty Krab. Squidward gives him another bogus task to keep reading the diary. A fish walks up to the register while Squidward is laughing, so Squidward flat out explains that he's reading someone else's diary.
Reading somebody else's diary. That's terrible. Tell me more.
Remember that. We learn a few of SpongeBob's secrets that I'm fairly sure are jokes, but they come across as more weird than funny. He clicks like a chicken at plaid, which I'm fairly certain furthers the evidence that he has a bizarre mental condition.
I have to take my break!
Oh, it's like an adult cigarette break. Okay. So Squidward keeps reading the diary to other customers. We learn that SpongeBob named his spatula Fifi.
Yeah, cook me up a Krabby Patty with good old Fifi.
Hey look, Patrick's a prick. What a turn on the tired old cliche. Weren't these guys friends at some point? Wasn't there a whole episode where SpongeBob was learning to respect Patrick's secret? Something that Patrick obviously knows? Even if you want to take that out of the equation entirely, Patrick just seems malicious here. No, this episode isn't a Patrick's a prick episode because he has little bearing on the plot. It's not a Squidward torture porn either because he did do some things to deserve his torment, which we'll get to. With one final secret, SpongeBob finds out that Squidward has been reading his diary. This secret involves stripping, by the way, so SpongeBob runs away crying.
That was that little dude's diary?
Yeah, it wasn't exactly a secret. Squidward had flat out told someone. It was talking about SpongeBob's secrets, and parts of it were in the first person. If you couldn't figure out that it was a diary, you're a fucking idiot. If you somehow shame Squidward for doing what you knowingly did too, then you're a fucking hypocrite.
That's low, Squidward. Even for you.
What do you mean, even for you? Hey, all I'm saying is I don't see Squidward holding people hostage or driving them to suicide. However, Squidward doesn't want to apologize. Kinda like Fools in April. However, they've taken every wrong turn possible. Okay, first of all, the episode wants to show that Squidward is in the wrong. That's all fine and good. But you cannot do that with other people who knowingly did the exact same fucking thing. No one likes a hypocrite. And no one finds hypocrisy funny. They make Squidward unlikable, but do they make him more unlikable than the townspeople? No, of course not. Each thing that the townspeople does puts them further into unlikability. Not only do taxis ignore Squidward, but his house gets foreclosed on too. You know why Fools in April worked? Squidward came to the realization that he was wrong out of a result of his own guilt. Oh yeah, and he wasn't told off by hypocrites, that's kind of important too. Some cops find a homeless Squidward, and because he committed the most heinous crime imaginable, he gets thrown in the stockade. I love the priorities of Bikini Bottom law. You could break into people's houses, steal their stuff, beat and maim them without consequence. But litter or read someone else's diary, and your ass is grass.
Diary reader.
What? You read it too?
And they're aware of the main problem with the episode. They did nothing to stop this main problem of the episode beyond lampshading it. What they did was wrong, they knew it was wrong, and yet they did it anyway.
Sure, blame everyone but yourself. That is so you.
I'll be dealing with you next week, you disgusting waste of imagination.
SpongeBob, oh thank goodness. You have to forgive me.
What for?
Wait a minute. This legitimately does explain everything. SpongeBob was crying earlier because Squidward did something that hurt him. SpongeBob should at least know that Squidward wronged him in some way. This means that SpongeBob literally does not understand the concept of right and wrong. Yeah, I'm going with that. He literally does not understand the concept of right and wrong anymore. Actions have no morality to them. There is no good or evil or right and wrong in his eyes. It explains so much. And apparently he's a bestseller too. He published his diary full of embarrassing secrets. Huh. Strange that he would want to do something that before hurt him so dearly.
My work diary. You've never even seen my secret personal diary.
Oh, so what you're saying is that what Squidward had his house foreclosed on was minute and didn't really matter in the long run. Good to know.
Stop your assault. Through my art as an author, I have forgiven Squidward.
He doesn't have the concept of art either. So, almost out of the fire, Squidward starts reading SpongeBob's personal diary.
I don't care. This is so worth it.
Would getting your toenail ripped off be worth it if you got to pull out one of SpongeBob's eyelashes? This episode is terrible, and the tragic part is that it didn't have to be. Remove the hypocrisy of the townspeople, have Squidward show resentment, and cut Patrick out completely, and the episode would have worked. Yes, they already did that with Fools in April. They could have gone with the classic diary plotline. As it stands though, I said Squid Baby was the worst season 9 episode. No, this is. The only impact Patrick has on the plotline is being an ass to people and helping one of the writers live out their scat fetish. The ending manages to be both kinds of insulting, belittling the plot and making it clear that the characters have learned nothing. The hypocrisy showcased in this episode is completely unfunny, not to mention the worst that I've ever seen. The biggest problem, though, is that Squidward is completely unlikable. You usually feel sorry for the guy, but when he says that all of his torment is worth it, it just infuriates me, on a story level and on a writing level. I have a feeling this is an attempt to bring Squidward back to his original arrogant self and justify the abuse to him, but it's far too late, and the talent of these writers has waned far too much. Before this episode, there was at least one character on the show that I could root for. Now I don't care about any of them! Congratulations!